Thank you, Mr. Chair, Ms. Young. First, just want to share a few comments similar to what several of my colleagues have already shared, just in thanking you for the 2022 budget, which has crafted, have no doubt will accelerate our recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, and more importantly, as you pointed out, help us build a more equitable and prosperous economy for all Americans. I believe the president is rightfully rejecting the failed theory of trickle-down economics and instead making strategic investments to help families enter and stay in the middle class. So with all due respect to some of my colleagues' newfound concern about deficits and debt, I know that this proposal meets this moment to rebuild our nation's infrastructure, combat climate change, create millions of good-paying jobs, reduce income and wealth inequality, expand access to child care, redress systemic inequities, and so much more. So I look forward to working with you and the other members of this committee and others to advance this bold vision to deliver the equitable investments that the American people so direly need. I do have a couple questions, a couple in the category of wildfires. I'm from California, and another in regards to housing. First, wildfires. California's most recent wildfire season was the worst on record, with more than 4.2 million acres burned. And we know that without bold action to combat climate change and to improve the resiliency of high-risk areas, we'll continue to see more severe and frequent wildfires. It's important to recognize that 50% of forest land in California is owned by the federal government. So wildland fire management in California is indeed a federal issue. Unfortunately, we've seen decades of underinvestment by the federal government. So I'm pleased to see that the U.S. Forest Service's budget request proposes a $400 million climate funding allocation to accelerate the restoration of degraded forests and rangelands. In total, the U.S. Forest Service proposes an increase of $170 million for wildland fire management and $80 million for its wildfire suppression operations fund. Director Young, simple yes, no question. Will you commit to working with Congress and the Department of Agriculture to ensure that the Forest Service's Region 5 receives the additional staffing and resources it needs to address the hazardous fuels backlog and reduce risk in California?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next, I want to call your attention specifically to ongoing delays in transferring critical wildfire air tankers from the Air Force to CAL FIRE for fire suppression efforts. The Air Force was directed in the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act to modify 7 Coast Guard HC-130H aircraft with state-of-the-art wildfire suppression equipment and transfer them to California for use by CAL FIRE. Delays in transferring these 7 air tankers are especially troubling because of the crucial role that air assets play in fighting California wildfires. So given the severe wildfire season anticipated now and in the foreseeable future, will you commit to working with my office to expedite the congressionally mandated retrofit and transfer of these aircraft?
We will call those agencies and work with you and to see where we are.
Thank you so much. And in my final minute, I want to get to the issue of affordable housing and homelessness. As our nation begins to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, and the American Rescue Plan continues to deliver critical relief in our communities, our longstanding affordable housing and homelessness crises are returning to the forefront. California needs to build an estimated 3.5 million new homes to meet the demand for new housing, and that's just California. According to a recent analysis by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, more than 1.8 million California renters had not been able to catch up on their rent as of mid-May. And the lack of affordable housing and rising rents are pushing more and more people into homelessness. There's now more than 160,000 individuals experiencing homelessness in California. So the need to make significant long-term investments sort of speaks for itself. I'm pleased that the Department of Housing and Urban Development's budget incorporates the President's American Jobs Plan and calls for investing $147 billion to bolster the nation's housing infrastructure while creating jobs. Director Young, will you commit to ensuring that the administration continues to push for essential investments in affordable housing as we work in advancing the infrastructure package.
Yes, Senator, and also pleased that we have a significant voucher increase in the discretionary budget.
Yes, which has also been very, very helpful. So thank you for your leadership
Thank
and
you.
your work. Look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Romney.